Hey everyone, today I'm going to do slightly different from this channel. Typically, I normally review just cameras and leather goods and other things. I wanted to kind of slow down a little bit because at least here in the Pacific Northwest, we are in the darkest of the winter. So it's gloomy, it's boring, it's kind of sad. And so I've been reading this book called The Little Book of Hoang. It's the Danish Secrets to Happy Living. Generally, it's about just keeping warm, candle lights. You'll see some lighting behind me, and it's just trying to create a comforting environment. I think the Danish people, people out in the Netherlands, just have a different and happier lifestyle. And so I'm going to try to adopt some of that. But the other book that I got recently also is, correct me if my pronunciation here, it's Nixon. It's Embracing the Dutch Art of Doing Nothing. And so I think that's going to be a really hard concept for me to do, which is really in a world where things are getting more exponential and we're just trying to do more and more and more, just learning to do nothing. And so today we're going to go through a couple of my favorite journals. I'm going to switch over to top view down, and let's go along this journey. Right, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through a few of my favorite journals, and I'm going to go through some of my writing instruments, and we'll go from there. So I'm going to start off with one of these things. If you're a guy, you'll probably seen it on social media. They've just been really good at advertising. It's called the Life Journal, I believe. Let's see if I can find it. The Mind Journal. Okay, I'll leave a link in all descriptions, all these products below. And essentially, it's just a very fancy, very modern hipster type journal with built-in programming around mindfulness exercises, checking off your feelings, setting intentions, goals, gratitude. So let's go through a couple of my journals here. You can see on January 5th, I was feeling a little unhappy, lonely, trapped, and it's probably because of the pandemic that we're in. So again, some space to write and work on things, priorities on different parts of my life. I'm starting to document here. And as you go through this journal, there's just blank pages. And every day it gives you a space to mark how you feel, intentions, what you're happy for. And then there's some sort of provocative question for you to kind of think about. When you get to the latter part, they're just blank ruled line pages, again, with just the intentions in there. And it's less guided as you get to the further end. What I do like about this journal is, one, it's got this nice, I believe it's pleather. It's not real leather, but it's a pretty good feel. It's got a nice feel, good heft to it. I can't remember how much it was. It's probably overpriced. You're probably paying for the programming that's built into it. But, and it has just this little book divider. And so I'm giving this a try this year. I'm going to focus and get myself to do at least 30 days and see how I do there. This I haven't used, actually. It was more of a gift that I got for someone. This is my company sticker, 1980, and it's called Appointed. And so it's just looks like a canvas type cover, blank pages in the middle, stitching right here, and let's see if we can read it. It says American made, Washington DC, appointed.com. So hey, if you are interested and you want one of these, how about the first person to claim it via the comments? I will reach back to you and get your address, and I will mail this out for you. So it was a gift for other people, so I will send this along to the next person. Now, of course, I've been doing a lot of leather reviews, and this is something I haven't carried with me all the time, but it's the Craft & Lore. It's a leather kind of wallet-like. There's space here for some cards and stuff you can put in here. I had some cards here. I took it out just for the video, but a card, I'll put a little sticker or stamp on my son there. I think you can put a very small stubby pen right here. That's what it's designed for. And again, this is the classic field notes. I think I got a bunch of these as well. Pretty popular in the hipster type community. I got the dotted line rule pages. Always got some paper for the kids to play around with as well. Generally, I think field notes are just, it's a good product. It's a little small, so I found that it was a little small for writing, but it's good for traveling. In a little bit, I'll show you a good alternative because I was using this for just trips and hiking, and when I'm out, I can take this with me and do some writing. But I found it to be a little small and doesn't weather very well out in the rain. So we'll get back to that. But again, quick shout out on leather. This is natural veg tan leather. The surface here is also natural veg tan. This is basically a brand new desk mat. This is a little more than a year old, probably 2-3 years old. So that's what I love about this veg tan leather. It changes colors for a while. So I mentioned earlier, again, my company, when I launched my company earlier this year, this was the first book. All my ideas are in here. This is the Write in the Rain. And so these paper pages are waterproof. Basically, you can dunk them into water. Let's call them water resistant. You're not supposed to just keep them soaking in water. But for the majority of the beginning of the year, I was actually sitting in a hot tub before the pandemic of 2020. And I was writing down just my ideas. So just ideas on how I'd run my business. I think I did some branding exercises up here, branding over here, companies I want to work for, things I'm aspiring towards. So this document, this book, was kind of something I carried around with me all the time. The pages are plastic, which is by design, right? Because it's supposed to be waterproof. And you need to use special pens that come, or pencils, let's call them pencils. And so this one is a pencil I got right here. And or it requires certain ballpoint pens. So you can't use gel pens, I think. And any kind of runny ink won't work. So you got to use a pencil. And so you can say, you can write in here. You can erase it perfectly fine. And what's cool is if this gets wet, it won't rub off. And so that's the intention. It gets absorbed into this material here. Really love this stuff. Check them out. Write in the Rain. This is actually a Write in the Rain branded pencil. I end up using a little bit a thicker nub. I think it's a 0.7 lead, just so it wouldn't break so often. I got a lot of stickers. So I have been branding a lot of my items. This is a notebook I've been carrying for a long time now. It's the Sketch Note Idea Book by Mike Rohde, and it's in collaboration with Airship Notebooks. It's got this pleather feel as well. So on the back, Ideas Not Art by Airship Notebooks. And just classic moleskin-like remove here. Make sure I don't share my private information. But you'll see that there's a little pocket in the back with some stickers and goodies. A couple of pages you can pull out for, looks like, is it storyboarding or icons? You can build some icons. So Mike's really into sketchnoting. And what's cool about this document here is this paper was specifically designed by Mike Rohde for sketchnoting. And so here's a couple examples. I'll flip through a couple of pages of my sketchnoting. So at the beginning of the year, I started just sketching out some ideas. So let's flip through a couple of them. And you'll see that the ink doesn't bleed through. And I'm using various different inks. And this is just a meditative practice for me to kind of sit down, sketch out some ideas. I wrote about my friend's book, and I did a podcast with her here. A little bit of anxiety. I think this was actually by Diana Cockrell. So I met her online. She works with the state of Washington, and this was one of her writings, and I kind of took that and kind of created this little sketch over here. And I did a course, so I took some notes on building racial equity earlier last year. So again, I'm going to put a link for this notebook. This is probably one I do carry with me every single day. I carry this along with the Write in the Rain. Those two come with my backpack all the time. I use this for sketchnoting. This has some nostalgia with the company. This is, let's see, this has got my personal information here. This is called the Midori Notebook. It's made by a company called Midori, made in Japan. This is Japanese paper. And again, I use this just as a general notebook and for the kids to write in as well. Japanese paper tends to be a little bit on the thinner side. I got the matching Midori natural leather notebook cover. Has a little pen holder you can put right here, or pencil. This one's just too big. But I found, I got this because I wanted for this to patina and get a little bit darker, but I haven't used it enough. So it's still fairly light, almost matches this one. But I like this. You know, it's just I'm a notebook fanatic, and I like just jumping back and forth a little bit too much. Now, I'm going to share two of these. I saw this online by, I think, a YouTuber called Stuff and Things, and he likes to review stuff and things. And this is called the Traveler's Notebook. So it's made by the Traveler's Company, made in Thailand. It's just a hunk of leather. And what you have is on the inside, let's see, a card that doesn't use anymore. You have just these tall, almost landscape-like notebooks, and they're held together with rubber bands and this little elastic system. And if you Google this notebook, you will see just an entire cult following around people doing all kinds of crafty things with them. It tends to be communities of women, but hopefully, you know, I think the world's going to change a little bit, and I hope more men adopt some of this stuff, especially with journaling. I'm using this now for my therapy sessions. So this is where I keep all of my therapy journal notes. And they also make a smaller version. And I got this small version here as well. Again, similar to the other versions, I found that these small ones, for me, like, I think I just need something bigger. And so, and they come with all kinds of accessories. So you can go crazy and spend just a lot of money and a lot of time buying accessories. This is just a craft thing. This is a little wallet made by 1.61. There's a company called Baumkuchen in LA, I think. We will link to them as well. And they've just been a great provider of stuff. And again, same kind of concept. This one I was carrying on a daily basis, and it's just been relegated back into the pile. So I haven't used it as much, but I am bringing this one back in 2021, just as a reminder to myself to get back into an analog world. So I am carrying this one. I am carrying this Right in the Rain for business purposes, and I am carrying this one, the idea sketch for sketch noting specifically. And this mind journal is just an experiment right now, just to focus. I think this stays on my desk and will just be part of my when I have time collection. So let's take a couple of these notebooks, put them aside, and let's go through a couple pens and accessories. One, I don't always carry this, but I think I will start carrying it a little bit. This is called UI Stencil, and this is an iPhone for prototyping. So you use your pencil here and do different icons. Set up when it still had the home button. This is a little dated now. I guess now the phones don't have home buttons, but it also acts as a pretty good ruler. I'll keep that there. Now I wanted a ruler, so I did get, it's called the Superior Labor, and it's a brass ruler. So it's fairly hefty. And I think as I move towards tactile things, I just want stuff that's very tactile. I can feel it. I like it when it's heavy, thick, strong. So this will probably get carried around with me in my notebooks. This is more of a specialty item, so I don't think I've been doing very much UI design lately. So that goes over there. And here's a pen roll, or pen writing instrument roll. And so let's see what I got in here. Right. And similar, this is done by a company called the Superior Labor. It's a Japanese leather maker, also sold by Baumkuchen. I think they're a big supplier. And again, similar, this leather was basically this color when I got it. I love how dark it's gotten, because this is something I do carry with me pretty much all the time. I'm handling it all the time. And so all the oils in your hand is definitely kind of creating that nice patina on this leather roll, which is exactly what I want. Let's do an unroll and see what we have in here. And maybe, I think it'd be fun to pull out, get a blank page and we can play around with. There we go. So I was doing Mike Rohde's sketchnoting workshop. So let's do this and we'll test a couple of pens I have in here. And let's put this notebook to the test. I do like Sharpie permanent markers. And so and let's see, can we tell it's an ultra fine point? It has that very Sharpie smell, so it's gonna really stink up the room. And look at that. Even with the Sharpie pen, nothing is bleeding through. So great work, Mike. Really nice notebook. Here's a Copic multiliner. It's a 0.5 pen. And it's in gray. And sometimes I'll use this to just kind of create outlines of shapes and people and stuff. I got this. It's Faber-Castell. Correct me if I got mispronunciation. I think that you get these in just art shops. Nothing unique and special about it. And again, let's do a quick check. Look at that. Nothing bleeds through. That's why this notebook is awesome. I do use these ones. These are probably one of my favorite pens. It's the Pilot G2.7. Almost, is it a gel pen? I don't know. It's a good flowing pen. It's been sitting for a while, so not flowing this well. See, I got a fresher one over here. There we go. Look how nice that flows. Also, still not going through. I gotta buy more of these notebooks. So I carry a blue one and a black one. This is probably my favorite. It's not gonna come across as well, but it's the Stadler permanent Alumicolor. I believe you can refill these, which it says, yeah, refillable, which is incredible. There's some sort of like ink cartridge that you can just stick this in and it will suck it up into. So I like the nib. It's kind of soft. And actually most of the lettering work I did up here was done with this pen with Mike's kind of double line technique. But I think, no, still not bleeding. So awesome. Here's a classic, can't tell what this is. It was a Tornado by Retro, 1951. It's a ballpoint pen. Now this is something I would write notes in versus sketchnoting because I think it's a good ballpoint for writing notes. Very classic style. I like the feel. I carry this with me for many years now, but it's part of my collection. This is a Pilot. I don't know what this is. It's like a Japanese pen. I love this one. It's got a, look at that. It's got this nice, almost like a felt brush. And the cool thing is on this side, there's a little gray leathering. So I use this to kind of do my gray shadows. Do carry a Sharpie with me. It's a classic plain Sharpie. This might bleed through. Let's see. a little bit, barely. That's a very aggressive pen. Pretty amazing that it bleeds through. This one won't work because it's a white pen, and it's a Neuland refillable pen, white, so it goes on black paper. Specialty use. My good friend Chuck Ritter was really into these friction clickers, the pen. And it's a pen, but with this eraser, it actually erases, which is kind of mind-blowing for me. And what's cool, let's play. See, I got a black one right here. Fading away. And I believe that's a pen. This is a little bit thicker nub, also friction color. So you go like that. Let me go get the eraser. And you can erase pretty much the whole thing away. A little bit of leftover, but that's pretty normal. And I saved some of my favorite. I don't remember what this one's called. I'll have to look it up. Oh, here it is. Y Studio. It's called a brassing pen. And so it's a brass pen, fountain pen. And I'm using just a refillable pump with some, I believe it's Japanese ink. Can't remember the exact one. But with the brassing pen, the design is like you would rub off over time. So this black paint gets rubbed off and it creates that brassing effect. And if you can't tell, I have this common theme of things age well. I want my things to last for a long time, stay around for a long time. Again, very low bleeding through. So I see that, Mike. This is a Kawiko brand pen. It's a small, nubby fountain pen. There may not be ink left, but let's see. And what's cool about these ones is it uses, there's no more ink. Uses these small replaceable cartridges as opposed to manually refilling. So I got a bunch of cartridge downstairs. I'll have to put them in. And let's see if I can put them back. It's a good travel pen. Plastic, but pretty good quality. I really have been enjoying this pen, but since I upgraded to this one's giving a lot more attention. And I'm going to end with just the last one. This is recent. I just got this today. I've used it before, but it's nice to have it back. I can't pronounce this one. Kokoiro Zig. It's a letter pen. So pull it out like that. And if you want to replace it, I think you should buy this whole thing right here. Let's see if I have a new one. Yeah. Here it is in a refill pack. So the refill comes, this is the refill. And you keep this little case. I'm not sure how environmentally friendly these pens are, but, and there's a little cap that goes in like that. This is the first time I'm using it, so my cursive sucks, but it takes a little bit of time for this ink to kind of really flow through a little bit. There we go. You gotta just really push down on it. And I think this pen likes to, the harder you push, the better the ink flows. So it's almost like a fountain pen, makes it more like a brush, like a Japanese lettering brush. Really cool, good lettering pen. I think this one's permanently gonna get added to my collection. So, hey everyone, thanks for joining today. Again, if you've gotten down to this far and if you listen far enough, I think if you are interested, leave a comment. Let me know which ones are your favorite pens, any recommendations. And also don't remember, leave a comment saying you'll claim this one, first one to leave the comment, I will reach out to you and mail it to you. And I'll see you in the next one. Let me know if you like these types of videos with a like or a dislike, and or thank you for joining. See you in the next one.